Hi everyone, it's Paul here, and this is the video for day 2 of the 2019 Cheltenham Festival. Just an hour and 15 removed from day 1 of the festival. Crazy day today. Envoy, whatever, Esperi de Allen or whatever it was called, winning the champion hurdle by 10 lengths. Apples Jade bombing out, Bouvardeur falling. Lorena, questionable run by her. Benny Dader having it in the bag and falling at the last, and then only 4 finishing the 4 miler. Real carnage in terms of a betting point of view, but we had some good horse in there. A Plutard one did really well, and one up gave in the 3-4 Beware the Bear as well, back into 10s and 1s. So we live to fight another day. But day 2 starts with the 1:30, which is the Ballymore novice hurdle, Group 1 over 2 mile 5. Really competitive this year. Some of the honourable mentions to go with first. City Island has won all starts, bar her debut, where it was disqualified, but was in much lesser races. The form is quite hard to read, so there could be more improvement in it, but I'm not 100% sure, if she's ready quite yet for a Grade 1 Ballymore novices. Sam's Profile as well has some decent form and was placed in a Group 1 behind the reopposing Battle over Doyen today. Still beaten 2 3/4 lengths as that one pulled clear, but has been placed in a Grade 3, so you could give a good argument for that one. But the main four I'm focusing on are the following. The one who just misses out on a 1-2-3 is Brewing Up a Storm. Was running at the course and distance on the trials day in January and was about a half length up when fell at the last. However, previously before then, was 4th of 7 to the reopposing champ today, beaten 4 lengths fair and square. And to be honest with you, the race was only just hotting up when it fell at the last. So, I don't know if it would have won, could have won and been towards a favourite, but on known form, which was being beaten by champ by 4 lengths, I think that one's going to struggle to turn it round. So the big two in the market, and there's nothing between them, are Battle over Doyen and Champ. Starting with Champ, obviously Nicky Henderson and Barry Geraghty. They will be looking to recover from Bouvardeur's shock fall today. And this horse is very good. 4 over 5 over hurdles. His only loss was actually to Vindication, who is a bit of a winning machine in recent months, apart from his last run. Won the Challow, which is a Grade 1 last time, beating Getaway Trump by 2.5 lengths. And very solid. Can't actually fault the form. Then we've got Battle over Doyen, which is for Jigginstown, trained by Gordon Elliott. Unbeaten in all point-to-point starts, unbeaten in all hurdles, and warmed up with a Grade 1 win at Nace last time. And I'm actually just coming down on the side of Battle over Doyen over Champ, because what I like about Battle over Doyen is the way that he battles. It's in the name. Sometimes you think, oh, he's in trouble, and he finds that bit more, and Gordon Elliott knows how to deliver one on the day. And I'm expecting Battle over Doyen to maybe have a little bit more improvement left in it over Champ, but I can't see it being very far between them if they both stand up. One at a huge price who I'm actually going to put in for the 1-2-3 is Beakstown for the Skeltons, who Roxana was a fortuitous winner today. It was booked for second place. But this horse is very good, a good winner of a Group 2 latest. And if you look at it, definitely improving. Big, athletic, scopy saw, definitely one for chasing rather than hurdles. But I think he's completely overpriced at 16 to 1, and I think he'll make the frame. But for the winner, I'm happy with Battle over Doyen. It's an unbeaten horse at the end of the day. It's Elliott. Jigginstown paid a small fortune for it. The ground's fine. He'll stay all day based on what he's done in points. And 700 to 13, I'm just looking at it now. I think that's a decent price, to be fair. But it'll be very close. 1-2-3, Battle over Doyen from Champ and Beakstown. The 2:10 is the RSA Novices Chase, which is a Group 1 3-mile race. And there's numbers in here, but not that much quality this year. I don't know if I would put this down as a vintage renewal. The one thing I would say is the top 3 in the market are pretty good horses. To mention one, though, who is towards the top of the market, and rightfully so, top of the game for Paul Nicholls. Second in both chase starts. He's got solid form. I just don't know what it is with this horse. I just can't warm to him. There's something about it that makes me think, yeah, he's like one of the top horses at the moment. It was a bit like Clanderzobo, not this year, but in the previous years. And I don't know. I've just got a feeling the top two are going to turn out to be much better than him. Mortal is one at a huge price who's worth a go for Joseph O'Brien and Blackmore, Rachel Blackmore, who got a first festival winner today. A very good second to Delta Work, which on that form, you'd have to put it in the frame, was poor 6th of 6 on the latest run. I believe it was at Leopardstown. No chance on that, but if bouncing back, and horses can do it, you would have to give that one a squeak. But from a 1, 2, 3, first one I've got in for third place, I'm actually taking a bit of a flyer on Mr. Malarkey for the Tizzards. Won the Reynoldstown, which is quite a good trial for this for me. And I've just got a sneaky suspicion this horse has still got improvement left in it. Joe Tizzard, it might as well be it's his dad. Colin Tizzard does well with these chasers. He's definitely one I like in, especially with improving chasers. And I think Mr. Malarkey at a big price can make the frame. The money all for the last month has all been for Delta Work. Gordon Elliott trains, Davy Russell rides. Won the Pertemps hurdle last year, getting up late. Done nothing wrong chasing. 3 for 3 chasing, and all of them at grade 1 level. His last run was December, which is a bit of a concern for me. Because he missed an intended prep run. And I've got the notes here from the Racing Post on the 3rd of February. And I was just reading the trainer comments before it, and Gordon Elliott says, we need to get another run into him before Cheltenham. That's why they were running him. But they haven't got another run in, and it's now the middle of March, and he's a big horse, so that does slightly temper my enthusiasm for him, and that is the reason why, from a first pick, I am going for Santini, for Nicky Henderson and Nico de Boinville. Has had his own troubled passage just a week and a bit ago. He lost a shoe, had to have a poultice put on his foot, missed a couple of days' work because he was very sore and was lame, but bounced back, and apparently his work since then has been sparkling. It happened with Altior last year. Okay, that's Altior. This is Santini, and he got the job done. But I love everything about this horse. Third in the Albert Bartlett last year, he totally lost his position and absolutely charged home up the hill. He's won a grade 2 on his first time out over fences, jumped immaculate. He was then third in the Corto Star Novice Chase behind Le Bagawar and top of the game. But that doesn't tell the full story, because turning in, he looked like he was hopelessly outpaced and was going to not even finish in the frame, but rattled home and was only beaten a handful of lengths. The flat course, right-handed course, clearly did not suit in the slightest. He was jumping left-handed, and he just got done for pace. So I think this course, left-handed with the hill, he's got bags of stamina, is absolutely right up his alley. And just think in the last 10, 15 years, some of the horses Nicky Henderson's trained to win this, you're talking Long Run, Bobsworth, Trabolgan, amazing horses that he's trained in this race, many of which went on to win Gold Cups and win Hennessy's and all sorts of stuff. So I think Santini, and you can get for nearly 5 to 1 in places now. I think that's a cracking bet to have, to be honest with you. 1, 2, 3 then, Delta Work from Santini and Mr. Malarkey. Then we've got the nightmare race as it is, which is the 250, the Coral Cup, grade 3, 2 mile 5. And it's just an absolute minefield. It always is. The favourite is 7 to 2. I'm just looking at it now. Uradel for Willie Mullins and Ruby Walsh. And you can understand why. He's got 10 stone 10, very lightweight. Came second in the Cesarewitch on the flat, so you've got to have a lot of stamina about you to get that. 2 mile 5 is not a problem. Came 5th at Leopardstown last time out, not given a too harsh time, but he was on a similar mark and still only came 5th. I'm sure this was the end game. Well, 7 to 2 is too short. He should fill the first 5, but there's no real thing. For me, it's not a 7 to 2 shot. Brio Conti's in here for Paul Nicholls. I'm a bit gutted. I wanted this one to go for the Martin Pipe, the last race of the festival, but he hasn't. He's got a chance on some form, but he's inconsistent. And the worry with this is if he's on a going day, great, but he could easily not be. An honourable mention for Farclas, obviously won the Triumph last year, but since then has been poor in group races all season. It's his first try at this trip in a handicap as well. So you know what it's like. The trainer can bring staggering amount of improvement on it, but without form in the book, it's not really one I'm going to put in the frame. Canardia, I like. Was a course and distance winner in October and did it really well. What I loved is how this horse, if you watch the replays, travelled down the hill really well. It's his first handicap run here. 11 stone seems a very fair weight to be carrying. And if he replicates that form in October, it should put him in the frame. And he's got improvement, so he could really grow into this race. And at 14 to 1, I think he's a very good price. One who I think is going to fill the frame is Vic for Willie Mullins. I know he's got the favourite, but I like this one. Bar the Gold Cup last year, he's always run well at Cheltenham. And I'd rule out the Gold Cup because as a whole, he's just not taken to chasing. It's not his game. And his last run over hurdles, he came third to Present in Percy in January off a bit of a layoff, and it was a group race. He's got a decent weight with 11 stone 9, but at 25 to 1, I think that's where Uradel is unbelievably short priced. Vic is massively overpriced, I think, at 25 to 1. But for the winner, I'm actually going for another one of Colin Tizard's, which is Vision Day Flow. Robbie Power rides for Colin Tizard. What I love about this horse is how consistent he is. He's come in the first 5 in all of his last 6 hurdle races, and all of them at listed and graded level. It also, last year in the festival, he came 5th to Sam Crow. Sam Crow destroyed him, but he wasn't far off for the places. So he did show a very good aptitude, and he's on a great mark here. He seems to like the course. And again, looking at the prices of around 12 to 1, you get very good value in this race. It's tricky, but for 1, 2, 3, I'm going for Vision Day Flow from Vic and Canadia. On to the feature of day 2, which is the 3:30, which is the Queen Mother Champion Chase, Group 1 over 2 miles. It's a race I absolutely love. Fell in love with this race, firstly through Viking Flagship, and then, of course, Flagship Uberalis, my personal favourite over the years. And I'm glad to say there's another legend in here, which is Altior. The reigning champion, won the Arkle with these 2 years ago, destroyed them when looked in trouble last year in the Queen Mother, absolutely annihilated them all in the Tingle Creek, even though Undasu gave a good effort, to be fair to him. And then last time out, despite jumping left-handed at Ascot, he still absolutely just romped them. And it's impossible to oppose him. I just want him to jump, win, and come home safe. That's all we can ask for, I suppose. Min came second in this last year, and he's 2 for 2 this year. But every time he's come up against Altior, he's just been destroyed, and it's hard to make a case for it not to happen again. Politolog's in here, which does surprise me because he's never run well at Cheltenham, and Paul Nicholls in the summer basically said he won't go to Cheltenham because he doesn't like the place. But I just wonder if they're having a flyer because he has not been in form this year, really. It's since Christmas. He kind of disappointed, I suppose. He still run a good race in 4th in the King George, but next time out behind Surname, just ran no sort of race. And he's got to have question marks here. You've got to mention God's Own. He's running this race 3 years in a run, coming 4th, 5th and 3rd. Coming back for a 4th year is testament to Tom George, the trainer, and the horse's own constitution for just coming back year after year. But he's now 11 years old, and he's not getting any better. It would need to have something to happen like the 4 miler for him to hit the frame, I feel. So Royale is really interesting. This horse was quietly fancied behind Altior in the Tingle Creek, but ended up coming last. But his previous chase form was very, very good. He had an injury which kept him out of the festival last year. But if he bounces back to form, and he does like it around Cheltenham, he's overpriced at 20 to 1, So Royale. His comeback second, he just got touched off over hurdles last time. Was very good. It should have put him spot on, and I think he can make the frame. 1, 2, 3 though, Altior from Min and So Royale. Yep, next page. We now move on to the 4:10, which is the cross-country chase, class 2, over just short of 4 miles. Very strange course. If anything like today's been like, there could be a lot of trouble around the way. It's a race I've loved ever since my old mate, Any Currency, won a few years ago and got beaten on the line the year before. And we have a decent record in the race, to be fair. There's only one place to start, and that is, for me, he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he is a genuine legend of the game now. And that is Tiger Roll. To win 3 races, 3 festival races, 3 years running, 1 over 2 mile in a Triumph, then a 4 mile National Hunt Chase, and then switch to this course is staggering. And in between all that, winning a Grand National. He is brilliant, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. Last time out, he was a massive price over a shorter distance than ideal, but won a Grade 2 hurdle at a canter, to be honest with you. And barring accidents, it's impossible to oppose him again. He's had one spin around here, but he does need his first run. But Tiger Roll will take all the beating. Another one of my old favourites, Josie's Orders in here, was actually awarded the race when Any Currency was disqualified in 2016. Came 6th last year, but one thing I would say is he's in better form this year coming into it than he was last year. And I think that's why we're getting a bit of value this year, to be honest with you. He's a 4-time course and distance winner. He knows his way around, and I'm surprised he's not the first string, because Auvergnat is the first string. And that's a very good horse. Came 4th in this the last 2 years running, but he's also fallen 3 times around the course. So it's if he completes. What it's basically saying, that form says to me, is you've got a toss of the coin whether he completes and runs a decent race or falls. And at 4-1, I'm not willing to take that risk. If he was like 10s, maybe. Ultra Gold loves the Grand National fences, so this crazy course may just suit him. The one thing I don't know if it'll suit him, though, is 4 miles. I'm still not convinced that's his trip. Very interesting horse at 25-1 is Fact of the Matter. 2 runs in over course and distance, beaten a neck in one, and then won next time out. He's been kept fresh for this since he won the handicap over the course in December. And he's got a big shout. The difference is that was a handicap. He's now running off level weights. But if the horse has improved, which he should have, because everyone will look for improvement for Cheltenham, I would have to say he should be capable of making the frame for sure. It's a great race. I can't wait for it. But 1, 2, 3 is Tiger Roll, From Josie's Order, and Fact of the Matter. The 450 is the Fred Winter Handicap Hurdle for 4-year-olds, Group 3, over 2 miles. And I really like Band of Outlaws in here for Joseph O'Brien, because he has been targeted at this race for a long time. And he's said very early on, this is going to be a Fred Winter horse, and he hasn't kind of wavered and gone to another race or anything like that. That's what put me off Fakir Dudery today, when they suddenly changed their mind. I hate it when people do that. And it didn't work for him, and I'm glad with this they've stuck to the target. He's such a strong traveller, and as you've seen with like A Plutard today, it's so important to travel well around Cheltenham, and he does that. And for a 4-year-old in particular, he could be able to get himself out of trouble, which this race inevitably brings up. Chief Justice is really good horse. He's got really good form with the likes of Sir Eric, who's even money favourite for the Triumph on Friday. Also Cœur Sublime, who people who follow my WhatsApp thing know I love this horse. And also even the likes of Chica Buena, who we beat easily, who won a very good race at Aintree in December. He's had a wind operation since his last run, and as you've seen with Beware the Bear today, it can bring about real big improvement. Very big price as well, and I think he's got a great chance. Lethal Steps also runs in that familiar Cheveley Park colours. He was very, very good on the flat. That's one thing I would say. He's got decent hurdle form too, but one thing's for certain, he needs 1 improvement and 2 to jump better. And that just puts me off in finishing in the first one, but I can see him running into the frame because I know he's got that potential. Fine Brunello is interesting. 2 UK starts, and both, one was second to Band of Outlaws, and one was second to Fakir Dudery. Could be more to come, and I think he could run well, but I think he is held by Band of Outlaws. There's been good money for Torpillo this week, and first 2 runs, you wouldn't put anyone off, looked amazing. Won by 22 lengths and 23 lengths, but last time he was awful. So there's a lot of faith being put in the recovery there, and he could do, but there wasn't long between that awful run and the festival, and that does put me off in making the frame. 1, 2, 3 though is Band of Outlaws, From Chief Justice, and Lethal Steps. Which brings us on to the finale of day 2, which is the 5:30, which is the Champion Bumper, Grade 1 over 2 miles. And anyone who's followed me on WhatsApp service will know I've been on anti-post since last August on Envoy Allen. And from what he showed, rightfully so, 3 from 3 over, in bumpers, including under penalties. And he's got better with each run. First time out, they anchored him in last. He just came through and sorted clear. Next time out, he was midfield and did the same. But what really got me last time was at Leopardstown. He got to the front and he battled. He lobbed his head down and he kept going. Meticulous, I think, or was it Abracadabra, ran through the rail, and it looked that could have put him off, but he just put his head down and he kept finding, and then put away for this since. And if he keeps finding more improvements, I think he could take all the beating here. I certainly hope so with the prices I've got anti-post. Belusari, bizarrely, is the only Willie Mullins runner. Now, as you know, Willie Mullins bingo usually rules in this champion bumper, quite often with his outsider or second outsider winning, like Relegate last year. But he's only got one this year. The only thing I've got to worry about is, one, he's only 4. 2, he's only had 1 run, which, okay, he won with a lot of style, classy performance. But for me, for a 4-year-old with 1 run going straight to Cheltenham, he would have to be something amazing and then turn into the most amazing, because I always think of hurdlers for the future, the most amazing hurdler in the future. And I just don't know at the likely odds. Abracadabra, I mentioned before, won well on debut, but he was so green behind Envoy Allen and ultimately ran through the rails. The one worry is that day as well, looking at the notes on the Racing Post, he got himself wound up as well, apparently, in the pre-parade ring and in the parade ring. And that's only a meeting in January. Will the occasion get to him this time? There's no way of knowing, but we'll wait and see. But it tempers enthusiasm. Ask for Glories in here for Paul Nicholls. Easy debut winner. And again, 1 run. Could be anything, but I don't like that for a champion bumper, which is a very rough and tough sort of race. Master Debonair has got a course and distance listed winner here in November. Did it well and could improve, but I think there's a type to more improve about it. That race that he won, the listed race, is never usually a great trial for the champion bumper. I like the 2 Joseph O'Brien horses in here. Derek O'Connor is riding Sempo at 25-1, and this one has improved with each run, and there's more to come. Joseph O'Brien shows himself as a jumps trainer, but he's also a flat trainer, so I think a race like the bumper will be right up his alley. And it's interesting that he has booked Derek O'Connor for the ride. I do like, though, Meticulous, especially on that second to Envoy Allen, but that Envoy Allen, you've got to remember, gave him £3 that day, and they're running off levels here. So, but I like that form line of Envoy Allen. So I think Meticulous, if I back in Envoy Allen, you've got to back Meticulous because he was only beaten a couple of lengths behind him. And so that's the form line I'm going. Very interesting as well, Donica O'Brien, known for flat racing, is coming over for the ride. And that says a lot if you ask me, and I think Joseph O'Brien means business. Always a tough but great race to watch the finale. Envoy Allen from Meticulous and Sempo. Well, thanks for watching again, and as always, let me know what you're doing. Hope you enjoyed day 1 and made a few quid. And yeah, here's to day 2. See you soon, guys. Take care.